don't be walking and then stop in the middle of the hallway and then be like, oh my god, hey girl, like, no, don't. Charlotte, and today's video is going to be the first video in my back to school series for 2015. So I thought I would start off the back to school series this year with a freshman advice video. I know that it's a little bit early to be putting this up, but I thought it would be a good first video. Today I'm just going to be giving you all some tips for freshman year. I'm going to be a senior in the fall, so I'm pretty old. I've made it through 3 years, I've got some experience. I know what it's like to be a freshman, and I also know what it's like to be an upperclassman who gets annoyed with the freshmen. So if you have any other questions, leave them as a comment and I'll try to respond, like any kind of question regarding freshman year. So getting started, the first tip I have is just don't be scared. Like, it's just high school. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, it's not scary. It's school. I mean, next tip is to go to orientation. This was really helpful for me as a freshman. I got to meet most of my teachers and see where their rooms are, see your locker. You can like go ahead and decorate your locker too that day, so it's not like you're bringing in a bunch of like shelves and stuff on the first day. You can go over any supplies you might need with a teacher. If you meet a teacher, you can ask, you know, hey, is there anything special I'm going to be needing for your class? You can also kind of look at the different rooms that you have to go to on your schedule and kind of map out where all of those were. Hopefully you'll have your schedule so you can kind of look like, okay, so I'm going to go from here to here. While the upperclassmen like to poke fun at the freshmen, most of them would be willing to answer any question you have, like, do you know how to get to this room or this class? Want to help you and show off their knowledge. Learn your schedule ahead of time. Again, some schools don't get their schedule ahead of time. Some schools get theirs on the first day, I know. If you do get your schedule like at orientation or just ahead of time like online or something, I think that it's good to go ahead and learn your schedule because I think it's so funny. I love the first day of school because all the freshmen are like walking around. Do you all have this class too? Where do you know where this, like, really recommend kind of at least getting like an idea of what your schedule is ahead of time instead of just like going in blind being like, all right, I guess I'm going to biology. I think it's a good idea to definitely like map out your schedule, get a feel for what the days are going to be like. So a few stereotypical things that I think of when it comes to freshmen are when they stop and stand in the hallway. We have like a freshman hallway. I don't know how it is at your school, but like there's like a few different hallways, and like this hallway will be like the freshman hallway. It's just like what we call them because that's where everyone's lockers are. So like all the freshmen have a locker on one hall. I know it's different everywhere, but like if the student center is here and like my class is over here, I always have to go through the freshman hall to get to any of my classes, and the freshmen always stand in their hall and block the whole hallway. They'll stand in like a group of like 10 in a big like clump and be like talking, and I'm like, please move. I literally this year I walked through and I was like, I just walked like this. I was like, all right, I need to get through. For freshmen, please don't stand in the hallway and block the hallway. If you do have to be in the hallway, please try to get to the side, especially if it's a narrow hallway. I understand if you're just having to be like at your locker. Don't be walking and then stop in the middle of the hallway and then be like, oh my god, hey girl! Like, no. You don't want to be so stuck to your friend group and then ignore all the new kids and then your friend group turn on you and then you just like don't have any friends. It's harder to make friends as you get older in high school because people get more set in their ways and more with their friend groups, and it's harder to kind of put yourself out there and be like, hi, like, let's hang out. Like, it's harder to like basically switch friend groups as you go through high school. So like freshman year is really important to making those new relationships, even if you want to stick with your like middle school friend group. If it is going into your high school, even if you want to stick with them, I totally recommend at least making nice with the new girls and like being like just being friendly with them. I know that a lot of girls are like, how much makeup is too much makeup, how dressy is too dressy, and honestly just wear what makes you comfortable and confident, because you're gonna have a harder time, you know, putting yourself out there and trying to make friends if you're like sitting there worried about like if people like your shirt, you know what I mean? Your true friends won't care if you're wearing no makeup or a face full of makeup. Just wear what makes you you. Stay on top of your grades, because Freshman year counts. A lot of people are like getting adjusted, and it's like colleges don't really look at freshman year. Back, I think it was like a pretty easy year. I didn't think so at the time, but it gets harder and you learn to cope with it. So it's like now, if I had my study skills and stuff now as a freshman, I could totally kill all my classes. But as a freshman, they were pretty difficult for me. Just try your best. Colleges, especially if you apply like early as a senior, they really just look at freshman, sophomore, and junior year. 3 years are really what they look at, especially when it comes to grades, extracurriculars, and just like what you were doing with your life. I definitely recommend joining clubs because that's great for your resume, and it's also a great way to meet new friends. If you join clubs early, as you get older, you can possibly get leadership positions in those clubs, which colleges also really look for, and especially if you feel like you're a leader. As I said, grades matter a lot, and in high school there's a lot more independence. So if you miss a day of class, you're responsible for going to the teacher saying, hey, what did I miss? What do I need to do to make up like this day? You have to be the one that takes charge and catches yourself back up, because no one else is going to do that for you. So another thing I recommend doing, and this video is kind of like all over the place, but if you're a freshman, I definitely recommend getting like a school bag or a backpack. At my school, everyone carries backpacks, but I know at a lot of schools, just depending where you are, people will just carry like tote bags. I totally recommend carrying one of those, either a bag or a backpack, but also organizing your locker. The thing is that like I think it's so funny when freshmen walk around with like 4 binders and they're like this, walking down the hallway like, I can't hold all this. If you are going to carry like more than 1 binder at a time, I definitely recommend like getting a bag, because it can just like be really funny when the freshmen are walking down the hall and they have like a million things in their hands. Next thing is to be social, go to football games, go to dances. That's where you meet a lot of new people and new friends, especially freshman year. Well, as I said, people are more open to making friends. I definitely recommend that. At least go to a few at the beginning of the year, and then if you realize that like it's not your thing, you'd rather do something else, you can, but at least like so you've tried it, you know. Next tip, I don't really talk about a lot of this stuff on my channel, but it's basically just regarding like drugs and alcohol and parties and stuff. There will be illegal drugs, underage drinking, and just partying in general in high school. You just have to be aware of that. Kind of decide, evaluate your morals and what you think is right, your values, just kind of decide what you're gonna do. I definitely don't participate in those kinds of things just because that's not my scene. But if that is something that you are kind of interested in doing, you definitely need to think about the precautions you need to take, especially when it comes to driving as you get older. It could happen if you do like get in trouble for that. Like you can get in trouble with your parents, with school, and even with like the police. I would just be very cautious when it comes to that, and definitely decide your values and everything beforehand, because you definitely don't want to get into school and then feel peer pressured. You need to stand by what you believe. I definitely just recommend, you know, figuring out where you stand on all that before you come to high school. Next tip is to ask upperclassmen for advice, especially when it comes to scheduling and stuff like that. You know, is AP biology really that bad? Like talk to upperclassmen about stuff like that, and I think it's definitely good, especially if you have friends that are upperclassmen, to kind of talk to them about their experience and if they have any tips for you, because every school is different, and if you find some upperclassmen at your school that you can trust, I think that it's great to ask them for advice as well. Freshman year is pretty fun, honestly. It's a lot of change, but it's pretty fun. Put yourself out there, be confident, and have fun, because you only have 1 freshman year, and high school goes by pretty fast, because I'm already about to be a senior, and that's crazy. So that will be it for my advice video. I hope that you all found this helpful and enjoyed the first back to school video from me. Remember that back to school videos will come every Wednesday from now on until the end of August, and my regular beauty videos will be on Saturdays. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.